Welcome to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. I'm Michael Hoskinson, filling in for Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Cellmark Studios along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel is in Studio West. This is April 8th, 2026, the 315th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. Let's check the stories we're covering this week.
NTTA plans public meeting on proposed 360 Tollway extension.
Trader Joe's confirmed for Mansfield, ending a long-running speculation, and it's about time.
Earth Day Mansfield returns with a day of family fun.
New Texas hemp rules shifts what's on store shelves in Mansfield shops. And in sports, North Texas SC wins big on the road.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks in studio with Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Tiffanie Spencer. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo with a question just for you. What if date night lasted an entire week? Imagine a glass of wine as castle lights reflect on the river, quiet walks through centuries-old towns, and dinners where no one is watching the clock. That is what autumn along the Rhine River can feel like. Paradigm Travel Agency is hosting a Rhine River cruise, November 12th through the 19th, aboard the elegant Ama Lucia, sailing from Amsterdam to Basel. You unpack once, you wake up somewhere new every morning, and every evening feels like another perfect night out. If romantic travel without stress sounds appealing, this is worth exploring. For more information, contact Claudine at ParadigmTravelAgency.com. Don't forget, use promo code MP111226.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Brian McFadden, the Executive Director for Mansfield Mission Center, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by the Vault Seafood and Steakhouse.
The North Texas Tollway Authority is moving forward with plans to extend the 360 Tollway south from US 287 to US 67, a project that could impact Mansfield and surrounding communities. The proposed extension would span about 8 miles through Ellis and Johnson counties, with potential routes near Grand Prairie, Mansfield, Midlothian, and Venus. Plans include 2 main travel lanes in each direction, along with parallel frontage roads. NTTA will host a public meeting to present details and gather community feedback. The open house-style meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 16th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Mansfield High School cafeteria, located at 3001 East Broad Street. Residents will be able to review project materials, speak directly with the project team, and submit comments. Materials will also be posted online starting at 5:30 p.m. the same day at ntta.org/360-tollway. Parking is free, and the event is open to the public. Officials say accommodations, including translation services, are available upon request with advance notice.
After months and possibly years of rumors and wishful thinking, social media posts, the Trader Joe's mystery is officially solved. The City of Mansfield officials confirmed Thursday that the popular specialty grocer is, in fact, coming to Mansfield. The announcement puts an end to what may have been the city's worst-kept secret. as chatter across social media, neighborhood groups, and direct messages had been building steadily. City leaders say they've been tracking the buzz and are just as excited to finally make it official. While specific details, such as an opening date, haven't been released yet, the store will land near the busy intersection of Matlock Road and Debbie Lane, across the street from Lifetime Fitness. That area is already shaping up to be Mansfield's unofficial grocery corridor, with Trader Joe's joining Sprouts Farmers Market, Walmart Neighborhood Market, Aldi, and Kroger. Grocery shoppers will soon have 5 major options, all within walking distance. City officials say more details are coming soon, but for now, Mansfield residents can finally stop asking if Trader Joe's is coming.
The City of Mansfield is inviting residents to celebrate sustainability and community at Earth Day Mansfield, a free, family-friendly event hosted by the Keep Mansfield Beautiful Commission and the city's Public Works Department. The event is scheduled from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, April 25th at the Chris W. Burkett Service Center, located at 620 South Wisteria Street. Organizers say the event goes beyond a single day of activities, aiming to educate residents of all ages on how everyday choices can help protect natural resources and preserve the city's environment for future generations. Attendees can expect a wide range of interactive and educational experiences, including a butterfly release, environmental and educational booths, and fishing lessons for children ages 16 and under. A free tree giveaway will also be available while supplies last. Additional attractions include kids' crafts and activities, live music, a petting zoo with pony rides, and a variety of product vendors. Visitors can also participate in a rain barrel silent auction and explore touch-a-truck displays featuring city equipment. City officials say the event is designed to combine fun with practical ways for residents to engage in environmental stewardship right here in Mansfield. The date again for Earth Day Mansfield is Saturday, April 25th, 9 to 1 at the Chris W. Burkett Service Center on South Wisteria Street.
A new state rule tightening how THC is measured in hemp products is now in effect, and the impact is already being felt by businesses and consumers across Mansfield. The rule, implemented by the Texas Department of State Health Services last week, changes the definition of legal hemp by adopting a total THC standard. That means products must contain no more than 0.3% THC when factoring in both Delta-9 THC and THCA, a compound that converts into THC when heated. What does that mean locally? For the 5 Mansfield area smoke shops and CBD retailers, the change effectively removes a large portion of their inventory. Products like smokable hemp flower and pre-rolled joints, once common on shelves, no longer meet legal limits and cannot be sold. The shift follows an earlier statewide ban on THC vape products, leaving many stores with fewer high-demand items to offer. Retailers now face higher licensing costs as well, with annual state fees reaching $5,000 per location.
For customers in Mansfield, the change narrows what's available for purchase. Legal options are now largely limited to non-smokable hemp products that meet the stricter THC threshold, such as certain edibles or beverages. At the same time, some products that remain legal, including those made with chemically altered cannabinoids, may still produce intoxicating effects, though they fall into a different regulatory category. Even with shifting rules, marijuana remains illegal in Texas, outside of the state's limited medical program. Mansfield residents who travel to states like New Mexico, where recreational cannabis is legal, cannot bring those products back into Texas. Doing so violates federal law and can carry criminal penalties under state law. Also, Texas does not recognize out-of-state medical marijuana cards. Only patients enrolled in the state's Compassionate Use Program can legally access low-THC cannabis. The tighter regulations could push some consumers to seek alternatives outside traditional retail channels, while others may shift to the remaining legal hemp products still available on the market. For Mansfield businesses, the rule represents another adjustment in an already changing industry, one that now must operate with fewer product options, higher costs, and a more narrowly defined legal landscape.
North Texas SC wins big on the road, and we'll talk about that because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
Let's go! In sports, North Texas SC got back on track Saturday night with a convincing 4-1 win over Sporting KC2 in Kansas City. Forward Natty James led the way with his first 2 goals for the club, finding the net in the 35th and 45th minutes. Midfielder Edu Neese stayed red hot, scoring his 5th goal in 5 matches, and Timothy Ospina added his first professional goal as North Texas scored 3 times in the 9-minute burst. Natty James is a native of Trinidad and Tobago and said scoring his first goals for the club felt special after a slow start. He credited his teammates and coaches for keeping his confidence up.
No, I'm feeling very good. I feel very happy, proud of myself, proud of my team, It's been a little difficult since I came. I haven't scored in the first couple of games. I was always motivated. I felt motivated. My teammates always supported me. They gave me the confidence. And just to come here and get a night like this, it just means everything to me. And I just hope that my team and I can continue this momentum going forward and just keep working.
James was named Player of the Match week for Week 5 in the MLS Next Pro League. North Texas SC will face Sporting KC2 again Friday night, April 10th, at Choctaw Stadium in Arlington. Kickoff is set for 7:30. And, of course, you can see all of North Texas SC's home games at the new Mansfield Stadium beginning on the 4th of July. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Friday, April 10th, is National Hug Your Dog Day, a celebration of slobbery smooches, tail-wagging warmth from those loyal fluffy friends, furry family, and four-legged favorites who live to love us. So scoop up your snuggly sidekick, whether you're a bouncy ball of boundless energy or a seasoned snoozer with soulful eyes, and give him a hearty hug, a gentle squeeze, maybe a few sweet scratches behind the ears. Because in a world of hustle and hassle, nothing beats a brief, beautiful bonding moment with your best barking buddy. I'd like to take a moment to thank About Mansfield for giving me this opportunity to fill in as guest host. Speaking of dogs, part of my duties in the community is that of owner of Canine Control, a local Mansfield dog training company. We are here to serve Mansfield and greater North Texas. We do everything from supporting puppy training and potty training, all the way to behavioral issues such as dogs with aggression, sibling rivalry, even marking territory. Canine Control is designed to help you be successful with your dog long term. And don't forget, when you check us out on our Facebook page, which is Canine Control TX, that's the letter K, the number 9, Control TX, as in Texas, you'll pull up our Facebook page and be able to view literally thousands of videos of clients being successful with their dogs. And wait till you get a hold of the 50 and 60 dogs at our group classes. Again, thank you so much, About Mansfield, for giving me this opportunity.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and today we're talking about something we all want a little more of, and that's time. In Methodist Mansfield News to Know.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, what happens when bourbon meets the garden? And neither one of them feels the need to show off about it.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's. That's where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Jill Featherston, who was the first person to correctly answer last week's Mansfield trivia question. Who founded the Cowbell Indoor Rodeo? Jill knew that it was Bill Hogg who produced the rodeo in 1959 with year-round events every Saturday night, and she has won a $25 restaurant gift card. Looking for the weekly, highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question? You can find it at its new home on the About Mansfield Facebook page. So log on to Facebook right now and hit the About Mansfield News Talk page. As always, the first person to email the correct answer will win a $25 restaurant gift card, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance. Good luck.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Dan Hunt, president and co-owner of FC Dallas and North Texas SC, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here to talk about how to buy a little extra time on the game of life in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
What if I told you that living longer doesn't require a complete life overhaul, a gym membership you'll never use, or giving up everything you love to eat? According to a study published in eClinical Medicine, the secret to a longer life might come down to small, everyday changes. Nothing extreme, just a little better, a little more often. Researchers analyzed data from nearly 60,000 participants in the UK Biobank study, tracking their diet, sleep, and physical activity over about 8 years. They call it the SPAN formula: sleep, physical activity, and nutrition. And here's where it gets interesting. Participants with the healthiest habits, getting about 7.2 hours of sleep, 42 minutes of movement a day, and maintaining a balanced diet, lived nearly 9 years longer and stayed healthier longer compared to those with poor habits. 9 years. That's not just more time. That's more birthdays, more vacations, and more movements that matter. But here's the part I really love. It's not all or nothing. Even the smallest changes make a difference. We're talking about just 5 extra minutes of sleep, less than 2 extra minutes of exercise a day, and something as simple as adding a serving of vegetables or whole grains. Those tiny shifts alone were linked to adding an entire year to someone's life. So no, you don't have to become a marathon runner overnight or suddenly crave kale smoothies. This is about progress, not perfection. Let's break it down. Sleep a little longer? My favorite. Maybe that means going to bed 10 minutes earlier instead of scrolling just one more time. Move a little more. Take the stairs. Park a bit further away. Or enjoy a quick walk. Eat a little better. Add something good to your plate instead of focusing on what to take away. Because here's the truth. Small habits are easier to start and easier to stick with, even improving just one area, whether it's sleep, exercise, or nutrition can help extend your lifespan. And it all adds up over time. As the study's lead researcher shared, these tiny changes can have a meaningful impact. And when combined, they create a powerful effect on our long-term health. So here's your takeaway for today. You don't need a complete reset, reboot. You just need a starting point. Before we go, here's your longevity prescription of the week. Pick one small habit to improve. Just one. Go to bed a few minutes earlier, take a short walk, or add one healthy item to your meals this week. Simple, doable, effective. Because living longer isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing a few things consistently. Until next time, take care of yourself, one small step at a time. This has been Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink where bourbon meets the garden in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian.
Welcome back to the Cocktail of the Week, brought to you as always by Bourbon Gospel. I'm Brian Certain, and we're officially settling into April's theme, In Bloom in Bourbon. Last week we eased into spring. This week we plant something with roots, because not every cocktail needs to sparkle. Some just need to stand their ground, and that's exactly what this one does. This week's cocktail, this is the Rosemary Rhubarb Shrub Old Fashioned. This is the garden standard. It's a bourbon old fashioned reimagined with a rhubarb shrub and fresh rosemary. It's tart, it's herbal, it's very structured. It's what you order when you want something interesting, but you're not interested in explaining it to anyone. The ingredients: 2 ounces of bourbon, something balanced, not too sweet, not too hot. A ½ ounce of a rhubarb shrub. I'll give you the recipe in a minute. 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 dash of orange bitters, and garnish. We're going to use fresh rosemary and an orange peel. Glassware, I think a rocks glass really fits this cocktail well, and 1 single large ice cube. So how do we make the rhubarb shrub? We make this ahead of time, that way it's ready for us. So you're going to take a cup of chopped fresh rhubarb, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. We're going to combine the rhubarb and the sugar, let it sit for 24 hours, strain, add the vinegar, and then refrigerate. What you get is something bright, something tangy, and something unpredictable enough to make things interesting. How do we build this drink? In a mixing glass, combine the bourbon, the rhubarb shrub, and the bitters. Add the ice and stir, not shake, until properly chilled. Strain into a rocks glass over a single large ice cube. Express the orange peel over the glass, drop it in, and then clap a rosemary sprig between your hands to wake it up, and then garnish. The Old Fashioned has survived for over 150 years because it doesn't need reinventing, just respecting. The shrub, on the other hand, dates back even further. It was originally used as a way to preserve fruit with vinegar before refrigeration existed. So what you're talking about here is actually an old world technique meeting our modern taste. Rhubarb brings tartness that cuts through the bourbon sweetness, while the rosemary adds that unmistakable herbal backbone, the kind of flavor that makes you pause and go, okay, that's different. And in April, different is exactly what we're going after. Now the mocktail version. We're going to take 2 ounces of a strong brewed black tea, then cooled, the ½ ounce of the rhubarb shrub, 2 dashes of non-alcoholic bitters, the same orange peel, and the same rosemary garnish. Build it over ice, stir gently. This drink is structured, it's complex, and it's every bit as intentional as the original, but no bourbon required. See, spring isn't just about new beginnings, it's about what takes root. Not everything needs to be flashy to matter. Not everything needs to be loud to be noticed. Some things, just like this drink, just need to be well built. As always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until our favorite American author Mark Twain says, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey, well, that's barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's in-studio interview with Mansfield ISD Superintendent Dr. Tiffanie Spencer.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Olympic long jumper Jacob Fincham-Dukes, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And my guest in the studio today, she is a graduate of Mansfield ISD, having attended Mansfield High School. Years later, she would come back to Mansfield ISD to work her way up the ladder from classroom teacher to district leader, and is now the district she once attended at Mansfield ISD's new superintendent, Dr. Tiffanie Spencer. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Was that all accurate?
It was all accurate. Yes, sir.
Did you have a good Easter?
I had a great Easter. I did. My little one did all of the Easter egg hunting and all of the things. So, yes.
Tell me about Easter, typical Easter in the Spencer household.
Typical Easter is wake up and breakfast and church, and then we come home and do all of the Easter bunny things. So it's an Easter egg hunt and the basket and all of the things. So I have a 4-year-old. So right now all, I heard, oh, wow.
Oh, wow. I have a 25-year-old.
Yes.
So that was a while ago.
Yes. So he is my one and only. So everyone and everything, he's the apple of everyone's eye. So yes.
The world revolves around
him. The world revolves around him. So yes, Easter is a very big thing. Yes.
Let's go back to little Tiffanie.
Yes.
Where were you born? You're from around here.
I'm from around here, but I was born in Beaumont. So my dad's family was from Beaumont, and so we were there as a baby, and then we moved back to the Metroplex. And so the beginning, very early, was like Arlington, Grand Prairie area before we eventually moved to South Arlington, where I started school in Mansfield Schools.
And you went to elementary school. So again, from elementary school all the way through high school was Mansfield ISD.
Yes. So my mom moved us to the area when I was in the 3rd grade. Okay. So we moved to South Arlington, where I started Glen Harmon Elementary. And so very great. That's where I met my very best friend. We're still best friends to today.
Oh, nice.
She lives in New York. And then from there went to Mary Orr, which was an all 6th grade, and then Worley and Howard, because we were the first kids in Howard. There was only one middle school at the time. And then Mansfield High School. So yeah, all the way through. Graduated as a Mansfield Tiger. Yeah.
A Mansfield Tiger. I was just going to mention Mansfield Tiger. My kids were also Tigers as well. Okay. Were you in high school involved in band or sports or any other extracurricular?
Yeah, all of the things.
All of the above.
So I played basketball my freshman, sophomore, and junior year in high school. And so had some great coaches. Dr. Kim Cantu was one of my coaches.
Wow.
And Coach Mutt was my JV basketball coach. And then I went on to be a founding member of our STEP team. So at the time, that was very new, but we wanted a STEP team. So I was president of that. And then I was also on the yearbook committee. So spent a lot of time taking pictures and creating the yearbook and all of those things. So yes.
You were busy.
I was busy.
Which is good.
Which is good, yes.
You took off then. You graduated from Mansfield High. Where'd you go after that?
I went to the University of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So went to Houston for 4 years, about 4.5 years.
Now, did you choose University of Houston because you were from Beaumont that's kind of in the same area?
That's a good connection, but no. I I was social, right? And so part of the STEP team is that you went to the STEP shows. And so you got to see all of the colleges. The colleges would come. And so I saw a really cool group that was from University of Houston. I was like, that looks great.
So
I'll attend there. So that's what I did. I applied to a couple of places, but applied to University of Houston, and that's how I ended up there. One of my high school friends was also going to school there. She's actually an assistant principal in the district right now as well. So we went to University of Houston together, and then I came back as soon as possible.
What does one do on a Friday night on the campus of University of Houston?
You know what? I didn't do anything at the University of Houston. My college roommates will tell you that it would be 9 o'clock and Tiffanie would be in the bed sleep. So they would be all of the things that are happening. She was like, we could have all the things going in the apartment. I was asleep. And that's pretty much still who I am to this day. Nothing much. I'm sorry. That's real boring.
That's all right. It's all right. Then you said you came back. You came back to Mansfield.
I did,
or South Arlington.
Mansfield. My mom had moved to Mansfield by that time, so yeah, we were in Mansfield.
And eventually, I would assume you went off and got a master's.
I did. So as soon as I came back, I didn't get my degree in education. So when I moved back, my number one priority was to become a certified teacher. And so I went through the certification program. I started subbing, so I couldn't find a job right away. And Mansfield had such high standards, as we still do, Mansfield ISD, so we didn't take alternatively certified teachers. And so I ended up going to teach in Fort Worth. So I subbed for a year and a half. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me, right? Because you are able to see administrators and how they support their teachers. You're able to see parents, how they support. And so I had the opportunity to sub at all of these schools. And so it was a really good learning opportunity. And then from there, I started teaching, and I went on to get my master's from Tarleton State University. And it was in educational administration.
Just right out there west of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have a Fort Worth campus too. So they have a Fort Worth campus. Yes. And so it was all in person. So we would drive out there, a couple of times a week after work. But yeah, it was a great program.
And then finally, with your education, you got your doctorate from?
I got my doctorate from Texas A&M Commerce University. And that was really the push that I needed. I was like, no, I don't need a doctorate. I don't need a doctorate. But at the time, I had great mentors, and I still do, Mr. and Mrs. Sneed. And they said, nope, you will go get your doctorate. And I was like, no, I don't think so. But I just didn't know that it was even possible for me. Like, I didn't know that was something that I could do. No one in my family has a doctorate. Nobody in my family has a master's. It's not. My mom worked at the post office for 39 years.
Wow.
And she retired a couple of years ago. She's living her life being Nona and doing all of the things, but she worked at the post office for 39 years. And so worked hard, did all of the great things so that I can be who I am. But I just never knew that it was possible to have a master's and a doctorate degree.
So you were already working at MISD when you got your master's?
No, I was still working in Fort Worth when I got my master's. I started working on my doctorate when I was an assistant principal at Elizabeth Smith.
Okay.
So I had come back to the district. I was in my first assistant principal position, and I started my program then when I was an assistant principal.
Okay.
So I started here at Elizabeth Smith for 2 years, and then I went to Glen Harmon to be an academic associate principal. And really my charge then, which is my charge a lot, is like, you're really great at the academics pieces. Like, go in and what can you do in order to improve the outcomes at this particular campus? And so that was my charge as I was put at Glen Harmon as an assistant principal.
From third grade through high school, you attended MISD schools. Yes. How has the school district changed from third grade up to current day?
I think the biggest change, is just the growth. I mean, Mansfield looked nothing like it does today. Mm-hmm. The district looked nothing like it did. I mean, Matlock was one road in and one road out that dead-ended before you could come all the way down. And so I think just growing from one comprehensive high school to 5, is a tremendous difference. And with that comes the greatness of growth and diversity in thought. And so I think that it has absolutely changed for the better, right? The more people that we have, the more opportunities that we have in order to make a great impact, but definitely different from when I grew up here.
Wondering how the impact, South Arlington seems to also be adding apartments right there on the Mansfield border, and how Mansfield ISD is being affected by, the Summit High School area. Are we ready for more students?
We need more students.
We need more students.
So actually this year, Mansfield ISD lost 600 kids in enrollment this year, which is significant. And so for years, we were a fast growth district, and we were keeping up and building schools and, school after school. But the reality is we are facing many of the similar challenges that districts around us are facing, which is declining enrollment, specifically in the South Arlington area. Okay. We absolutely have declining enrollment, but it's across our district. It's not just in Arlington.
And there was a push earlier this year or later last year for open enrollment.
Yes, and that is the specific reason why. We are continuing to lose students. And you think about, innovation is happening all around us. And we are innovative and we are typically ahead of the curve. But there are things that are happening like virtual schools. Right. And so there's a good portion of our kids that are going to virtual schools. And so what are we going to do to combat that? There are also just micro schools that are popping up and now vouchers that are going to impact that. But we have definitely seen what everyone else is seeing around us, which is a decline in our student enrollment.
You've been the newly hired superintendent for less than a couple of months?
We just made 30 days. 30 calendar days.
So
yes.
You've attended now one board meeting.
Yes, sir.
30 days. Has the fire hose been dropped down to at least a trickle, or are you still?
Oh no, the water hose is on full blast.
Okay.
But it's okay because we have buckets, we have cups. Like we're gonna just have the water and we're gonna keep moving. The water hose is coming, but it's not too much. It's much of what's to be expected. And some of it is me, because for me, it was really important. I talk a lot about visibility versus engagement, right? And so it's one thing to see your superintendent or to see your new superintendent. It's another thing to have the opportunity to engage with me. And so it was really important, and it is really important for me to provide those opportunities. And so it takes a lot of time in order to do that. When I originally met with our communications team, right after I was announced, they were like, we can have you to all of the campuses and the community things in 2 weeks. And I said, absolutely not, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like? That looks like me walking in and saying, hey, guys,
Look at me.
Here. Look at me. And I said, no, I want them to have the opportunity to talk to me about what they're proud of the district, right? Because yes, I've been here, but that's my perspective. What's their perspective? So that I'm very mindful of those things as we start to plan and make the vision for how we move forward in the district. I also want to know, what do they need in order to do their jobs better? Or what do parents or community members think that they need in order for our teachers and our staff to do their jobs better? And so that just takes time. Right. And so that's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour that I'm having specifically with teachers and with campuses and with community members. And so some of that water hose is me saying, nope, I need the time in order to engage with the people. And then others are just, part of getting to know this position, because no matter how close you are, it's nothing like sitting in the seat. It's just different.
You do have a couple of community appearances coming up, where people can come out. I believe one is at Mansfield High School,
yes.
and I don't recall where the other one is, but so you are at least now venturing out into the community where you can talk with some of the community members.
Yes. So we had our first Our Schools, Our Conversation on this past Thursday at Summit High School, and we had a pretty good turnout. And just having that dialogue, and it was great dialogue with parents, and some community members don't have kids in the district. Mm-hmm. They just want to engage. Like, who is this person? Great. We have another one coming up on April 15th, and that is at Mansfield High School. And then we have one coming on May 14th that's at Brenda Norwood Elementary. It was really intentional in that as well, because I didn't want people coming to me at the admin building, right? Like, let's come to me and let me talk about us. Let me come to you. People are more likely to come to areas that they're familiar with,
sure.
Schools that they're comfortable in. And so it was really important that those meetings and those opportunities were in the community so that people are close to where they live.
You did the one at Summit High School. What were some of the questions that were asked of you?
So some of the questions specifically were about how do we provide differentiated support to our teachers and our campuses, which is something that's a focus for me. Everyone doesn't need the same thing. And just being sure that we're looking at how we are allocating resources and that we are not utilizing a one-size-fits-all. And so not so much a question, but be aware. So one of my questions is, hey, if you could have coffee with me, what would you tell me to be aware of? And so one of the things that they wanted me to be aware of is like, hey, everybody doesn't need the same thing. And there's no reason for us to have a cookie cutter template as to how we allocate resources or how we support campuses.
MISD has been recognized for CCMR, College, Career, Military Readiness.
Yes.
What's the next level beyond that?
I think the next level beyond that is just being sure that it's just not a compliance piece of making sure our kids are college, career, military ready, because that's one of those things. Like, yes, we know the tests that they can take. We know the classes that they can take in order to be CCMR met. But after they leave us, are they actually able to use those things in practice in their real lives and in real world? And some of the things that we've found is that there is a discrepancy in that. And so that's from the state, not from us. Yeah. What the state is saying is, hey, all of these kids are graduating college, career, and military ready. But when we're looking at how they're actually performing in college, there's a gap in us saying that they're ready and then how they're actually performing. And so we've actually already started that work of looking at not just courses that they can take, but then how are we actually providing them the opportunity to have some experiences so that we know that they're ready after they leave, not just that they've been checked ready.
So what is your plan to close the gap?
So the plan to close the gap, we've already started that a little bit. One, and just to be transparent, I'm real transparent, so I'm just going to tell you what it is. That's why you're here. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what it is one way or the other. So one of the things that happened with the state is that the state said, like, hey, y'all are taking these courses, and one of them is a test prep course, and you're saying that these kids are ready, but they're really not. So the state is taking that off of the table. And so we have looked, Dr. Leanne Tamplin is over our CCMR. She's actually looked at different courses in order to be sure that our students have the opportunity. So it's providing them different chances in order to engage with college level work or to engage with different industry-based certifications, but it's providing them other opportunities and not just that of taking a course or taking a test.
Okay. Let's talk about tests.
Yes.
Because my kids hated taking the STAR test.
Absolutely.
And that how... Or can we get to a point where the hardest part of taking the STAR test is knowing that it's Friday morning and leading up to it leads to anticipation or even anxiety.
Yeah.
To a point where maybe today we're going to take a half-hour test, not even call it the STAR test, hand it out. It's just another test. Is that... and I don't know if that's something that has to be done at the state level or... or locally?
So I think the STAR test is the STAR test. So we can't impact what the state does, right? And so that's part of just state mandates and how they evaluate us as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I take this as the same way that I took it as a campus principal. We don't have to talk about the STAR test every day. We don't have to talk about that we're going to take a STAR test. Our jobs as educators is to prepare our students to have great Tier 1 instruction, so to provide them the very best resources, the very best instruction, without talking about the STAR test. And I used to tell my teachers that all the time, like, hey, we're not going to call it that. We're not going to call it the STAR. We're not going to say that we're going to do what we're supposed to do every single day for kids.
Yeah.
And if we do what we're supposed to do every single day for kids, the adults, right? Leaders, teachers, support staff, then kids are going to be prepared no matter what day you put a test in front of them. And that is our job. Like, I have children. That's our jobs. Like, our babies shouldn't be stressed over a test, because at the end of the day, we're doing good things for kids every day. And those things should show up no matter what day we put a test in front of them.
The kids should no longer have anxiety when it comes to and both of my kids went through that. It's Monday, and they go, oh, the STAR test is coming on Friday. Yeah. And then it's Tuesday. Oh, the anxiety's getting a little higher. It's coming on Friday. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. And I think that, some of that is we're doing that as an institution. So one of the things just in collecting feedback. So I talk to everyone like, hey, if you talk to me about what's happening, I'm going to categorize those things as these are things that are rising to the top when I'm going to the community meetings and meeting with teachers, and one of the things that's come up, we test a lot, not just the STAR test, just in preparation. Like, they can't be kids, right? Yeah. We don't have time to teach. And so those are things that we can impact. We can impact that at the district level through district leadership. And so I had the opportunity to meet with our team today, and they said, hey, our curriculum and instruction team, what's some feedback that you've gotten from the meetings? And that was something that I shared with them. And they said, okay, we haven't put the assessment calendar out yet. Like, let's see what we can do in order to change that or in order to lessen some of that. But some of that, I think, is the system that we have set up. And I think that we can effectively impact that system.
Coming up next on About Mansfield, Steve includes his interview with MISD Superintendent Dr. Spencer. In the meantime, this is the place where you will hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to aboutmansfield.com, enter your email address on the homepage. We will never send you any spam, we promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Michael Hoskinson, and this is About Mansfield.